Hi, and welcome to Black Heroes, presented by AT&T Dream in Black. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Shannon Cross, Senior PR Marketing Specialist, podcaster, and host of Black Heroes here on HBCU Digital. Today's Black hero is Lisa Brown Alexander. Not only is she an HBCU alum, but also an entrepreneur. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It is definitely a pleasure to have you, a graduate of the
Howard
real
University,
HU?
the only HU.
Oh, the only HU. Okay, that's like a remix. Okay, I like that. I like that. And then your husband, also an HBCU alum.
Yes, he attended Fisk University.
Okay. And how did the two of you meet? Because you own Wellspring Manor and Spa together.
Yeah.
Where did this love story start?
Well, we met many years ago. We met back in 2005, late 2005, early 2006.
Okay.
And worked together in a number of capacities in the local community. And over time, stuff just changed. And we got married in 2016.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, as a HBCU alum, what was like the deciding factor for you with Howard? Was it always Howard, or was there maybe another PWI that you were interested in?
No, not at all. I grew up in Montreal, Canada. I
Oh,
was born in Montreal and grew up in Canada and was there until the age of 20. I knew I wanted to go to college at a Black college, and there's no such thing as a Black college in Canada. And so Howard was my school of choice. I applied, I got in, and that was my only choice. So I knew that that's where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to be a business major. That's what I was. And I have wonderful memories of my time in Howard and lifelong friendships.
so what was that like transitioning from Canada to DC? I mean,
It was
Chocolate City.
crazy. Yeah. My father lived here at the time I came to school, so he helped kind of soften the blow. But I will admit, I knew very little about the Black American culture. My parents are Jamaican. Every relative I have under the sun is Jamaican, and that's the heritage that's like woven in my DNA.
Okay.
And so when I got to Howard, people assumed I was, what are you from, California? You talk kind of weird, and they assumed that that's where I was from. But I really didn't understand the culture. It's one thing to read, and I read lots of books growing up as a teenager, but it was very different when I got on campus. And it took quite a while to adjust to sayings and foods and cultural, references that I knew nothing about. So the first year was a little rough. Yeah.
I can imagine that you've got go-go versus, soca and reggae.
Yeah. But I did find the Caribbean Student Association in my first year, and that was a breath of fresh air. I found my tribe and my flow, and that really helped me, feel a part of the campus.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. So tell me about your career path. You said you were a business major. How did you get to becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, that came naturally as well, because I have many entrepreneurs in my family, including my father, who owned one of the few Jamaican bakeries at the time in Washington, D.C., right up the street from Howard University.
Oh, wow.
And so I always knew that I would want to chart my own course, which I did. I actually started, like most other folks, working in the corporate sector. And then over time, I moved into the nonprofit sector where I've got exposed to some wonderful missions and organizations. And from there, I identified that there was an opportunity to create a management consulting firm that specialized in the human resources and talent management needs of nonprofits.
Okay.
And so started that firm in 2000. We are now moving toward our 22nd year in business.
Wow.
And it's been a wonderful journey. So entrepreneurship was my destination. I knew that very early on, and have always kind of got my juice from creating my own destiny.
What role would you say attending an HBCU played in your career path?
It was affirming. When you go to Howard, everyone is kind of dialed in, right, to Black excellence. And I was exposed to so many things, in my time at Howard, including people who were politically astute and into law and business and health. And it was just a mecca. I mean, that's why we have the name, right? And so Iron sharpens iron. And when you're around people who are about business and got their game together, you have to have yours together too. And so I would say it had both an affirming um, impact on me as well as, you know, a challenging one that said, okay, you got to take it up a notch because you went to Howard.
I like that. I like that. That's so true. So Wellspring Manor and Spa, tell me about this because you've literally created like a Black-owned oasis in the middle of Prince George's County.
We have. It has been such a ride. It's such a journey. We decided to do this back in 2017 and went about the business of looking for a property where we could stand something up. And we ended up buying some property down in Aquasco, Maryland, which is the very southern tip of Prince George's County and very different than what people associate with the area, right? It's very pastoral, very rural. But the land that we purchased was raw,
Okay.
filled with trees, and needed a lot of infrastructure, and the cost was going to be, prohibitive. And so we decided to backpedal from that, continue to look for some space. And lo and behold, I saw this listing online for this property, the property we have now. And I couldn't figure out where it was because I knew the area really well. And so I put it in my GPS and got in the car and started driving. And I'm thinking, where's this taking me? This doesn't make any sense. Well, it took me into a neighborhood. And by then I just knew I was lost. The GPS had sent me, down a deep path, off the cliff. And I ended up passing the entrance to the property and ended up in a cul-de-sac. And I'm thinking at this point, I was furious because I'm like, this is just a wild goose chase. God, why are you playing with my heart, And I turned around and was making my way back up to the main road and happened to look to my left. And there I saw the driveway. Turned up the driveway and the rest was history. It was breathtaking, even in its overgrown, abandoned state. So when we purchased the property where we are today, it had been vacant for 8 years prior to buying it. It was just sitting there, really languishing. Such a gem, but really just not known about, right? And it's not the kind of house that you would just kind of move your family into. It wasn't your average house. It sits on 7.35 acres in the middle of the county. So it's not kind of like your just average suburban houses,
Right.
But we purchased it almost immediately and went to work on modernizing it, yet maintaining the integrity of the period in which it was built. And then we opened in 2018, November of 2018.
Wow. Okay. So you had a couple years there before we officially got into the pandemic,
right?
Which of course for most business owners has been really tough.
But
what you've created here, this resort, this bed and breakfast, it's more than just a spa where you come and get a massage. Just Can you talk about what people can get at your Wellspring Manor and Spa?
Yeah. So we designed Wellspring with the goal of bringing Black excellence to life. Kind of that same experience I had at Howard and my husband had at Fisk, right? They're all about the talented 10th at Fisk. But we wanted to convey a luxurious experience for people in a way that was relatable to us, people of color. So in the food, in the music, in the art, in the experience, we wanted to see ourselves reflected everywhere. And so the property now features an art gallery, a spa, up until a couple of weeks ago, a wine cellar, which we converted into a massage space because of demand. We bring in really outstanding chefs. We had a dynamic chef when we first opened by the name of Danielle Harris, who I have to shout out because she set the bar so high, amazingly talented, undiscovered. And she really helped us to set the kind of the culinary experience. And it's been a wonderful journey. Our goal is to create a luxurious destination that reflects the culinary, entertainment, and overall travel needs and desires of people of color.
A full experience.
Absolutely.
And look, when you go to the website, I love that you immediately see people of color. You see yourself.
Yes.
And ultimately you imagine yourself at this place.
That's right.
Secretly, I need a massage right now.
I'm through. Although I have to say we have received an amazing response from the public since we've reopened. and have really had strong reservations. And it's a wonderful thing because we were dark for almost a year when we had just really opened. And so I'm thrilled and grateful.
Well, you just touched on some of the issues that come about, some of the challenges, we'll call them challenges of being a business owner. What advice would you have for folks that are interested in doing exactly what you've done?
Have a strong stomach, be willing to take risks, trust in your ideas and your creativity, knowing that when you do things well, doors will open. That has been my recipe for success. That has been our recipe for success, and it's worked. Do your homework. I think sometimes we see the end result and we miss the journey. You've got to do your homework. I wrote a business plan like I was going to send it to Bank of America for review. And the only person who really looked at it was my husband. But it forced us to think through the business concept, the financials. We made sure we put some money away for a rainy day, never even anticipating anything like COVID. So you've got to plan,
What's one thing you wish you knew before you started all of this?
How physically demanding running a bed and breakfast can be. So we've got 4 floors, right? From the basement to the very top floor. Okay. Carrying 25 pounds of laundry up 4 flights of stairs will get you slim real quick. So I've lost some weight. I had gained weight during COVID, and once we reopened, it just came right.
No COVID-15 for you.
No, I had it, but it's gone because it's the truth. I mean, the work is real, but it's absolutely rewarding. Every time a guest walks through the door and goes, it's just, it makes it worth it every single time, because they see themselves, they hear the jazz playing, and it immediately transforms people into a space of luxury and of comfort and relaxation and affirmation. And it makes it worth it every time.
More than ever, Black businesses are booming right now. I'd say over the last year, there's been a aggressive push just to get Black businesses more exposure. And what does it mean to you being a Black business owner, especially as a Black woman at this time, just thriving and really you are an inspiration to the next generation of entrepreneurs coming up? And what does it mean to you to lead the way in that aspect?
It's an honor. Honestly, I'm not motivated by money, despite being an entrepreneur. And when you talk with most entrepreneurs, what they're driven by is a passion to do something someone else hasn't done before. That's where I get my energy. And so, it's an honor to serve as an inspiration to young and old. It really is. I consider it my responsibility, and I enjoy being able to demonstrate that what's possible.
Where can people find out more about Wellspring?
Yeah, so each of our interests have social media presence. So Wellspring, we're on Instagram and Facebook. Lake Arbor Jazz is also on Instagram and Facebook.
I love it. Well, make sure y'all follow all of those social media handles. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciated having you on the show today.
My pleasure.
That'll do it for this episode of Black Heroes on HBCU Digital Network. Make sure to stay connected and updated on when all the latest episodes drop. You can find them on hbcudigital.com. And also you can follow us on our social pages. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Inspired? You should be. AT&T has continued their commitment to HBCUs with the launch of AT&T Dream in Black Rising Future Makers. Connect with the inaugural class of 25 HBCU students and watch them rise at att.com/dreaminblack.